And judges need to be knowledgeable about the subject matter of intellectual property when it reaches the court for them to be able to adjudicate over the matter. Now, BIPA, hosting the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization and the Intellectual Property Rights and Innovation in Africa, together with the U.S. Department of Justice. We now cross over to NBC reporter Stefan Uirap for an update. Stefan?
Good afternoon, Tapewa. Now, over 20 respecters of Africa and around Africa are attending the Judges Colloquium to discuss how to best ensure IP enforcement through the continent and through the judges and the courts. But to talk to us more about the IP and all the things in the spectrums is our the Director General of the African Regional Intellectual Properties Organization. Well, thank you, sir, for having taken our time to talk to us. Against the backdrop, the colloquium for judges on enforcing intellectual property rights, what is your organization?
African Regional Intellectual Property Organization is an intergovernmental organization. It's constituted by 22 member states. It was established in 1976 under the Lusaka Agreement. And basically, what we focus on is the promotion, the harmonization, and development of IP laws and policies in our region of Africa. We pool resources, we build capacity to ensure that IP is given the way it deserves on the continent of Africa, because it's important to understand now that we're in the knowledge economy. And what that means is that we are relying on creativity, we are relying on innovation, so it's extremely important for us to give IP the focus it deserves. I'm extremely excited being this beautiful city of Swakopmund. Yesterday we had an opening ceremony, and there was a strong statement that was sent by the government of Namibia, by the presence of the Minister of Justice, by the presence of the governor of the region, by the presence of the representative of the Chief Justice, and the statements they gave and the encouragement they gave to the judges who are present. We have over judges from over 22 member states, and we are looking at the opportunity of building African jurisprudence for African innovators, for African creators, so that we ensure that Africa evolves and is not left behind.
Now, sir, how does this conference speak to your efforts to enhance the enforcement in your member state?
Okay, talking about enforcement in member states, we must understand that IP is an ecosystem, and maybe to bring it down to ARIPO, ARIPO's mandate is given the various protocols that we administer. We have the Harare Protocol on patents and industrial designs. We have the Banjul Protocol on marks. We have the Swakopmund Protocol for the protection of traditional knowledge and expressions, folklore. We have the Arusha Protocol for the protection of new varieties of plants, and the most recent protocol, that is the Kampala Protocol on voluntary registration of copyright and related rights. So talking about the enforcement, our mandate derives from those protocols, and we are bringing judges together, the African judges, to share experiences, to remind each other about the importance of IP. And I'm extremely excited that the judges take their work seriously, super seriously, from the engagements that we are having. So we are trying to create a network of judges that will build IP and support us in the enforcement activities.
So since yesterday we have been seeing you deliberating, what are some of the key takeaways from this colloquium?
The takeaways is one that the judiciary is extremely important if we are to make meaningful progress as far as enforcement of IP rights are concerned. They are critical to our efforts as far as enforcement of IP rights are concerned. Number two is that there are various levels of development, jurisprudence in the various member states. Some are advanced, some are coming up, and others are trying to really catch up with the rest. And that's an important lesson that we are taking. It gives us the basis of the interventions we can make as ARIPO. Intervention to do with capacity building, interventions to do with awareness raising, intervention also to do with engaging governments to ensure that they put in place the right policy interventions to make IP work for Africa. But also to know that it's discussions we are having are not only with the judges. We have practitioners. They are able to share their opportunities, but also the challenges they face as practitioners as they approach the bench. So it's extremely important takeaway, but also to understand there's so much work that we need to do as ARIPO. There's so much work that we need to do as member states. I'm extremely excited because the member states will work very, very closely with the national IP offices. An example being BIPA, which has hosted this very important engagement of the judges' colloquium. So there's a lot of work that we need to do. And we don't have much time really to do this. We can't, as Africa, keep playing the catch-up game. We must be at the forefront of this. A lot of work to be done, a lot of resources to be deployed. But the most important thing is that when we are able to do what we're supposed to do, there are going to be a lot of benefits as far as economic development is concerned, as far as investment is concerned, as far as transforming people's lives in Africa.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. That's it from me, Stefan Urab, and the camera operator, Istor Shilongo. Over to you in studio.